Here we are. Let's see how fast we go live on a Friday night. Let's see. Good. We're live. We're live. Who is the first one to pop up on my live feed tonight? It's always someone different. Who is first? It's taking a moment to get to me. There we go. Yeah, how are you doing, Charming Cree? Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Yes, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Hello to my mom. My mom is watching. Let's see. Who's first timers tonight? Who's long timers? Tell me. Who's first timers? Who's long timers tonight? Guys, get in for the long haul. I have information tonight. I have a good chunk of information tonight. I apparently am Batman, according to Jeremy Ryan Slate. I've been told I am Batman. I am not Batman. Hello, Rebecca from Idaho. Hello there. Las Vegas Jen. Welcome. Hello, Luisa. Hello. Let's see. Long timer. I love it. From the beginning, I love it. Bring some new first timer, Sherry, Minnesota. Welcome, Sherry from Minnesota as a first timer. Medium timer, send some large. Awesome, I love it. Long timers, Hillary from Indiana, South Carolina. First time from South Carolina, welcome. Awesome. If I miss you first timer, I'm sorry. I'll catch you in a different one. They go so fast. But welcome, yeah. Long timers, beautiful. Love my first timers. I'll shout you out if I see you. Fort Benning, Georgia, Janina, welcome. Awesome. Central Massachusetts, welcome, Ramsey. Indy, Stacy. What's going on, Stacy? Hello, Brandy. New Jersey and Iowa, Lori. Hello. Wales? Wonderful. Awesome. Long timer. Hello. Oh, Amanda, I get to take care of your daughter soon. That is so awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Medium timer. Winter Park. Zoe from Winter Park down the road. I love it. Welcome, Zoe. Palm Bay, Fallon, Nevada. Marcia from California. Welcome. First time. Welcome, Marcia. Beautiful. Sylvia. Oh, Brandon, first time. I got to get those two. I saw two in a row. Brandon and Nicole, first timers from Minnesota. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being on. Awesome. Very cool. Detroit, Motor City. Love it. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Debbie. Michelle, Australia. First time, Aaron, welcome. Because of the RNC, welcome. I love it. Beautiful. Hello from Heather from Ohio. Apparently you have jackasses in Ohio, New York, California, and a couple others, because that's how you always write it, everybody. Traverse City, Michigan. Ruth Ann wants to know the name of the mattress. I always forget it. I have to repost it again. I posted it several times, but I always forget it I don't remember it when I'm looking at the camera, looking at the feed. I have to go look it up every time. I actually have to go to my email to look it up all the time, because that was where the receipt was. Dora from Orlando. Welcome, Dora Nichols. Rock star. She's an amazing lady doing a lot for humanity. Tina St. John, this is not your first time. Hello. I love it. Toledo, Ohio, armpit of America. Oh, everyone's in a mood tonight because it's a Friday night, and we're coming off the high of a Republican National Convention. Awesome. Love it. Martha from New York, welcome. Got some nanos. Thanks for the advice. Welcome, Sean. That's awesome. Holly from Indiana. I'm laughing at all the people that know me, and they like inside joke kind of thing. That's funny. Oh, that's wonderful. Beautiful. Loving all the new Jennifer. I'm loving all the newbies as well. That means we're waking up more people. If you're a newbie, you're going to do some homework this week, and you're going to go back and watch some crazy stuff that I've said over the last several months, okay? But yet, all the crazy stuff that I say seems to somewhat either come directly true or pretty close to it. So, not because I'm some, Nostradamus. Not at all. It's just a lot of study. A lot of study, okay? Love my shirt. Forever Free. Cordy Williams. Dr. Cordy Williams. Go there. You can get your own shirt, okay? I'm sure he'll love you buying them up. He is on a rampage for freedom as well. Awesome. Gloria figured out her crypto ledger. Yes, well done. Zoe bought crypto as well today. Good. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit because I need to clear up some, let's just say, confusion on money. So, guys, stay with this for the long haul. It's a Friday night. Guess what? Friday nights, I don't have to go to bed, and I can get up when I want to on Saturday morning. So I tend to go long on Friday nights, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to dive into, and we're going to be talking about vaccines toward the end. So hang in there because the matrix is imploding, just so you know. Okay, so we're talking money, we're talking politics, we're talking healthcare, real healthcare, we're talking vaccines, we're talking the movie. So when I get done with this, whatever time I finish, I actually have to go watch a movie tonight that was made a long time ago because when I watched it, I didn't understand it. I have to go watch it again. I'm actually going to watch Eyes Wide Shut again tonight. And I'm going to show you tonight why I'm going to watch it again tonight. Now that I have in my head, I have to watch it tonight. I should watch it tomorrow or Sunday, but now it's in my head. I got to go watch it, okay? Anyway, this is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge, okay? You have to have health. You must have health, all right? If you need health, call me. NoblePatriotHealth.com. Get a hold of me. I will help you with the health. You have to have freedom, but you have to fight for freedom, right? Hopefully it's nonviolent. Hopefully it's a me more. But if you have to fight for it, we will. And you have to have knowledge. I will tell you, people ask me all the time, how do you know this stuff? I am not some predictor of the future. I am not Nostradamus. I am not some prophet necessarily, not that I'm aware of. All right? I study. I read. I research. So when people write little posts in there on my thread saying, can you summarize the show 2 nights ago? No, I cannot, because I don't remember the next day what I talked about last night. My wife, when we're driving to work, she's like, what did you talk about last night? Because she usually falls asleep. And I go, I honestly don't remember. She's like, you have to remember. I'm like, I really don't, because some of it's bullet points that I know I have to go through. Some of it's just off the top of my head, so I don't always remember. It's kind of like that athlete who is like in the zone. If I'm in the zone, I just go and I don't always remember what I said. So you have to go back to the archives and watch and listen away. All right, let's dive in. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is, because everyone wants to know what the hell happened last night in President Trump's speech. Now, we all know it was wonderful. I mean, he hit on all points to the extent of him even saying that Joe Biden touches and sniffs, those aren't his exact words, touches and smells children or whatever he does. He's basically calling Joe a pedophile, right? He's basically calling a pedophile. I don't know if you picked up on that, but that's what he is doing, all right? He knows. He ain't stupid. He knows, all right? Now, all of this chaos going on, and the mainstream media, now I don't watch the mainstream media, so I couldn't even honestly tell you what's on it. The only news network I watch, and I streamed the whole RNC on it, was OAN. Now, people are going to ask me, how do I watch OAN? I am not promoting them. I am not making money off of them. I just think they're an actual real news network with real, proper journalists who are actually doing what they're supposed to do. All right? So, I actually am a subscriber. Okay, I don't have Hulu anymore. I got rid of Netflix. I don't have any television subscriptions, anything like that. We got rid of all of it because we refused to put it in front of our eyes. We refused to let our children, or child, I should say, watch it. We got rid of it all. So the only thing I pay for from a TV standpoint is my internet connection, which I have a really fast one, so that costs me some money. And I have OAN. And OAN on Facebook, you can become a supporter. I pay $4.99 a month. So I am willing to spend At this point, $5 is a cup of coffee. It's not $1 anymore. It's $5 for a cup of coffee, wherever you go. But $5 a month, and I get OAN, and I turn it off and on when I want to. And I don't watch it all the time, but I catch up on some stuff. I think Chanel Rion is an amazing journalist, and the show is, and it's so funny because their production quality, like, it's good, but it's not CNN yet. But let me tell you, they're actually enjoyable to listen to because they actually break down what's going on in a just way. So I actually get real information. So anyway, the mainstream media is covering riots. They're covering NBA jackasses. They're covering NHL jackasses. They're covering Major League Baseball jackasses. They're covering all sports jackasses, right? And they're covering riots, and they're covering anybody who wants to call the president a racist or white supremacist. That's what they're covering, all right? However, they're not covering stuff like this. They're not covering the rescuing of 39 children in Georgia who were involved in human trafficking and sex slave trafficking. How is this not covered in the news? Oh, why? Because the mainstream media covers it up. They're complicit in this tragedy. Complicit. They have found nearly 40 missing or endangered children that have been rescued by federal and state agents during a law enforcement operation in Georgia. Their U.S. Marshals Service announced that 13 missing children were found and an additional 26 endangered children were rescued during the 2-week operation centered in Atlanta and a city to its south, Macon, Georgia. This goes through all the details. Now, apparently, there may have also been some in Michigan and Ohio. I have not found those yet. We are saving children's lives, and the mainstream media is screwing you over. They are Project Mockingbird. They will literally tell you the same lies over and over because they're programming America. Now, that leads me into our First Lady, Melania Trump, which I'm still going to call it out. I don't freaking think she's from here. You know, we're not at the 10 o'clock hour yet, so I can't get too crazy. However, what the hell? We're in America now, and the damn place is burning, so I might as well just say whatever I want to, whatever time it is, because it's Friday night. All right, so I don't think Melania's from Earth, just so you know. And I think the president, before he was president, I think he had a couple wives. I don't think he was the probably cleanest person on the face of the planet from, whatever he was doing. And for something happened when he found her, and next thing you know, he is perfect gentleman, doing what he needs to do, fixing stuff. Now, he's always been a builder, and he's always been pro-America, but we know he's got he had a female problem. He liked to chase ladies, right? Melania, I'm going to just call it what it is. You've heard me say it before. Palladian, I don't know. Is she from Arcturus? I don't know. I'm just saying it's the eyes, it's the face. President Trump is like 6 feet 3 inches tall. He's not small. He's a tall guy. Did you see how tall Barron was? He towers over his father. Barron is like 6'7". And I don't know how old he is, but he's a teenager. He's not an adult yet. I don't know where they're from. But she's on a mission to save children. She has her campaign called Be Best. She literally is constantly with children. And you know what's funny? When you watch her and they do their little PR stuff because that's what they have to do, and like she's in a school and everything else, but she actually looks like she genuinely wants to be with children, unlike a lot of PR stunts that past presidents done, first wives have done, first ladies, where they're just there, everything else. But he's 14 and he's 6'7". Do you remember in the Bible where they talked about the giants and the watchers? I'm just saying. I don't think they're from here. Okay? 14 years old and 6'7". And his mother looks like she's an angelic being from some star system a long ways away. Anyway, moving on. So, she's always down, like on her, like, she's the first lady. She has every right, according to our societal rules, on being the first lady. She doesn't have to get down on her knees. She can walk around. She could have servants all over the place. That's kind of part of the gig, right? She is down on her knees with them, playing with them, talking to them. It's as if she is connecting with them directly on a spiritual soul level, which is another reason why I think she isn't from here. Civilizations that are not from here, by the way, they actually like humanity. What if she's here because she understands the pain that our children in this country are going through? And she actually probably communicates better with children of God still living in their godly energy before they become an adult and all programmed. And she is connecting better with them than she probably does with any of our society at this point. Anyway, on night 3, Wednesday night, she was wearing green, but dark green, to the point that liberals called it her military color, that she's going to help take over the country and run a fascist dictatorship because they're freaking crazy. That's why. Now, military green, and then she's in lime green, essentially lime green, right? Okay, there's symbology here, and I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit, okay, what happened last night. Don't think the president doesn't know what he's doing. He's also from New York, and he also knows how the mob works. He knows how the mafia works. All right? And don't think he hasn't played the mafia game. Now, not that I think he's had anybody killed necessarily, but he knows how the New York mafia plays. I mean, he was with them. He was in business with them, because there's no way of not being in business with them if you're in New York and you're in real estate and high government and everything else. So, you have to understand, first of all, the light green is also, it symbolizes Pepe the Frog. Have you ever seen? So Pepe the Frog is one of the mascots of the Anons. All right? One of the mascots. Now, military green means military. Basically, on guard. Get ready. All right? Next night, she's wearing lime green, which is actually a chromatic green color, so you can actually, it allows the meme makers to put on there anything they want. Like if I had a green screen behind me, I could put anything there I want. I have the software to do it all. I just choose not to. But on top of that, she was wearing a red belt and red high heels. Do you not think it's very strange that being at a very patriotic event at the White House, in front of a lot of flags, a lot of red, white, and blue, no one else is going to wear lime green, and she sticks out like a sore thumb in bright lime green? Okay, so this is where it's going. Military green, lime green, or I shouldn't say it's fully lime green, but like a very, very light green. Green means go to the military. That's what that means to the military. So military color one day, green means go the next day. Why the red shoes? The red shoes are a symbol of the red shoe cult, who is behind the human trafficking of children. Don't think that she's not giving out signs, symbology. She fully knows exactly what's going on. Green means go. Now, he finished his speech. I expected everything just to be done and all that good stuff. And then a massive fireworks display over the Washington Monument. Now, there's a great video out there I have not watched yet regarding the symbology involved in that. I haven't gone through it yet, so I'll pick up on it and I'll report and let you know. But amazing. And then, I don't recall his name, but the opera singer comes out on the second level of the White House and does several sets, and is phenomenal. And let me tell you, I actually, one of my favorite genres is opera. I just love opera. I don't even know what they're saying half the time. It's such a high vibrational, higher tone, like just a great frequency. Like it inspires, it it brings on emotion, not motivation, but it pulls you up, right? Pulls you up. You feel amazing after good opera. However, remember, Q has said Godfather 3, it's going to be biblical. That was literally basically out of a scene from Godfather 3, where basically the Don, President Donald Trump, is whacking the deep state cabal Khazarian mafia in control. And there was 2 points where the opera singer said, not only did he sing Dark to Light, and I believe the president even said Dark to Light, and I think Melania had said Dark to Light, but the opera singer said Dark to Light, and then at one point, I win, or I will win, President Trump. This was a message to the deep state, to the cabal, that we will win this game. Now, I do believe, I said there was 2 scenarios. One is that there's no election. I think there will be election at this point. I mean, I keep going back and forth, but unless something crazy happens, which, by the way, September, October, all hell's going to break loose. If you think this rioting is going to stop, no, it's going to go on, and it's going to get worse and worse. It is going to look, if you watch the news, it is going to look like America is burning before the election. Literally burning. Like they will start burning Washington, D.C. down. In September, they're planning on sieging the White House from what I have heard. So, they are not playing around. Either there's no election, or I'm telling you, there's going to be martial law at some point. Going to pull off martial law. President is going to call for it, because either before the election it's going to get out of hand, states maybe, and then the deep state, the cabal, is going to attack with rioting and destroying of the country. And he is going to put martial law most likely in. Now, we are operating under the wrong constitution, so don't panic. Also, don't panic on the mass vaccination issue. He's going to put martial law in, hopefully, to bypass the Constitution, restore order, and then input or implement the correct original Constitution. That is kind of how I see it. And then also you will get a brand new financial system, by the way, which I'll go into in a second, what I think that's going to be based on. But that's how I think that it plays out as we watch this go down. It's going to be mass chaos. You're going to probably have false flags. They're going to make it look horrendous. That is their job. They're going to make it look absolutely chaotic. It just is what it is. That's what they're going for. Now, after that happened last night, all right, people were leaving the convention or the speech. And then on top of that, there was some problems. So let me take you to the video. This is Rand Paul leaving the convention. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm in prime time. So you're going to hear swear words. I'm not going to block stuff out. It is what it is. I'm going to show you 2 videos here. And the rioters are saying things. I mean, it's nothing you haven't heard, but I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Okay? Here we go.
Say her name! Say her name! Say her name!
Y'all can take pictures and all that, but y'all gotta go to the room, please. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Move back! Move back! You move the fuck back! Move back! Move back!
Watch out, bro.
I got you.
Okay, so first of all, Rand Paul is an American patriot. So all of these, let me give a benefit of the doubt for a second. All right. If you have a problem with America, you have a freedom to peacefully protest. Absolutely. And if they want to protest over the killing or whatever it is of any black American in America that has been shot, injured by police, you're right to do so. 100%, right? And if it's a justified thing, everyone will get behind you because it's wrong. However, you're supposed to peacefully do it. And on top of that, if you do it, you better be doing it for the damn right reason. Let me tell you, they're complete morons and they're puppets of Soros and company. Why? Because you're picking on the wrong person, you idiots. You're picking on an American patriot in Rand Paul. Rand Paul, first of all, is libertarian. He's under the Republican Party only because that's how, as a libertarian, you can even get elected, because it's very challenging to get elected as a libertarian. And he's a conservative individual, and so he runs as a Republican. He spoke, I think, night 2 or night 3 at the convention. He's friends with President Trump, but he actually disagrees a lot of times with President Trump, because Rand Paul is a tried true constitutionalist. So, first of all, they're messing with the wrong people. Now, I do not put any politician or anybody else up on a pedestal, right? We have great leaders, and we cannot worship them ever, but we can appreciate their service. Rand Paul busts his ass every single day for the American people. If anyone, do you realize any one of those people touches him in an aggressive manner at all, they're screwed. That's a sitting member of Congress. That is a senator. You don't get to, I don't even care if that was the worst senator or congressman or congresswoman walking down the street and they have committed treason. If you can't prove it and you physically assault them, your ass goes to jail. Those are federal offenses. You don't get to touch and throw around and push around elected officials. It doesn't work that way. All right. Now, that was the latter part of the video. Apparently, there's video before that. I don't know if it was taken, where they were actually cornered by the rioters. Actually, him and his wife Kelly were cornered. This was later when the police actually showed up and surrounded them so they could get. They were just going to their hotel. If they had harmed them in any way, bad news. Like, if something had happened to Rand Paul, and they had, even to the extent he had been killed, that's an assassination, right? Not just the president can be assassinated, also a sitting member of Congress. They're completely messing with the wrong people. Now, on top of that, Kelly Paul she tweeted out an article. I'm going to read this article. I'll actually show it to you as well. Okay, I'll bring it up here. So, and I'm going to read through this because I think it's important. Thursday night felt like being in a terrifying dystopian novel. The mob swarmed me and my husband, Senator Rand Paul, in a tight circle, screaming expletives, threats, and shouting, "Say her name." I'm going to talk about that in a second. We rushed up to 2 police officers, and I believe that is the only thing that kept us from being knocked to the ground. Even pressed against the officers, we were greatly outnumbered. As the mob grew and became more threatening, we literally could not move, and either could the 2 officers for several minutes. The rioters were inches from us, screaming in our faces. That was the worst part. At first, I attempted to meet the eyes of one of the protesters and tried to explain that Rand authored the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act. That's how stupid these people are. He authored the act that was actually helping them. But it seemed to just infuriate them more as they called me a bitch and a racist whore, I'm assuming, alongside endless torrents of FUs. Mobs are terrifying. They looked at us with no humanity, just a vicious and righteous zeal. After that, I just kept my eyes down and prayed. All I could think of was the driver who was pulled from his car, viciously kicked in the head, and left lying in his own blood in Portland, Oregon last week. It goes on. After several harrowing minutes, additional officers arrived with bikes and surrounded us to create a moving barricade to escort us to safety. The video showing us walking is after the additional police had arrived. Before that, we were pinned in the center of a swirling maelstrom of hatred and threats. Those in the media and government who have downplayed the last 3 months of burning, shootings, murder, looting, and destruction have fomented this horrific violence. Since his election in 2010, Rand has made criminal justice reform a priority and has sponsored dozens of bills to address civil asset forfeiture, over-criminalization of nonviolent drug offenses, and the racial disparities in sentencing caused by the 1994 crime bill. I serve on the board of a bipartisan criminal justice reform group and worked hard to lobby for the passage of the First Step Act. I have appeared with Alice Marie Johnson and Matthew Charles at events and on various TV programs to advocate for more reforms. The mob screaming in our faces seemed ignorant of the fact that Rand had authored the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act, calling for a ban on no-knock raids. Either that or they just didn't care because their hatred of President Trump makes them feel righteous and justified as they terrorize people and burn cities. Several of our friends were also attacked trying to make it to their hotels last night, including one who had his glasses slapped off his face, another who was pepper sprayed by a rioter, and a woman who punched him in the back. In the last 3 years, my husband was shot at by Bernie Sanders supporter who nearly killed Representative Steve Scalise, had 6 broken ribs and his lungs damaged by a vocal internet hater of President Trump, and endured numerous death threats against him and our family. An MSNBC reporter literally said on air, laughing, that Rand's assault was her favorite news story of the week. She was hardly criticized or made to apologize, let alone fired. People such as Bette Midler and Nancy Pelosi's daughter regularly tweet out encouragement of a man who nearly killed Rand, which is amplified by thousands of their followers. My message to all of them is this: you have become exactly what you say you hate: violent, closed-minded, authoritarian, and utterly lacking in empathy. So he actually created the act, the Breonna Taylor Act. They're clueless. And on top of that, it talks in here about the First Step Act. I actually know and am friends with the gentleman who actually authored the First Step Act, and Rand partnered with them to get it through, and the president signed it, which was to get more Black and African American people out of jail that shouldn't be in jail and back with their families. Which tells you these rioters, as you know, are completely paid. I actually feel bad for them. Why? Because they're being set up. They're being set up by the hard, radical, left, liberal wing of not even the Democrat Party. It's just it's the cabal. It's the deep state. It's the Khazarian mafia. They're going after the wrong people out of complete and utter suppressed ignorance. Now, then there's Representative Vernon Jones, representative out of Georgia. Representative Vernon Jones is a Democrat. Let me say that again. Representative Vernon Jones, a black man out of Georgia, who is a Democrat, who changed to vote for President Trump. I'm going to show you the video of him after the event because he was also there. Again, there will be words.
Support him, man. Listen,
He is a congressman.
Are you a black Trump supporter?
He's in Congress. He speaks.
He's not in Congress.
What is your position?
Trump. He's been on politics.
What is your position?
Fuck this dude.
What is your position?
Fuck this dude. He's in Congress. Hey, you need assistance? Yes. All right, move it. Back up. Move back.
What? Fuck you. Talk about something. Move back.
Move back.
Your bitch ass.
Move back.
What's up? Hit me with the bike and I'm a I want you to.
You're a fucking disgrace. Move back. Move back. Hey, right here, Brad. Right here.
What's up? Explain.
Fine, right there.
Oh, you barking around orders like you doing something. It's the orders for me.
Where's your, there you go.
She was a black woman too. They want to the left. To the left. To the left. They go to the left. They go to the black woman too. Look, her name was Breonna Taylor. Her name was arrested. That count on the table.
How's it going, sir? Good. Can I ask you a few questions?
I just want to get my guests to the hotel. I don't want to get in trouble. I just want to get my guests to the hotel.
You spoke at the RNC, right? I watched your speech.
Black woman, say her name. She was a black woman too. She was a black woman too. Can you say her name? Say her name. Can you say her name? Say her name. Can you say her name?
Let's go to know.
Say his name. Breonna Taylor.
Excuse us. Let the man walk.
It's Breonna Taylor. Can you say her name?
Let the people walk.
Let us live. And then we'll let them walk.
He's not doing anything.
We ain't doing nothing to them.
Let him walk. Okay? He's not. He didn't do anything.
Be nice. Fuck that shit.
I'm not going to go through all of it. There's like 4 minutes of it, but you're getting the point. They had to take him a different direction. I feel bad for these kids. Now, I don't feel bad because they're ignorant, because everyone has an opportunity, especially today. I mean, they're all carrying cell phones, guys. We all have cell phones. There is no reason these kids, and that's what they are, cannot research and study. Google is on that phone. Even if they have to Google, they can Google. There's no reason for them to be ignorant, yet they're being suppressed by a Marxist agenda in America through your school systems and your colleges. One of the most notable things that I heard during the Republican National Convention that the Democrats did not talk about, and there was many things during the RNC that I loved. You had maybe 10 people talk about school choice and putting the power and the money back into the parents' hands to be responsible for what school you decide your children go to, whether it's homeschool, charter school, private school, doesn't matter. Or public school, doesn't matter. The problem is these children are being indoctrinated from preschool, kindergarten, all the way up to being a senior and into college with a Marxist agenda. They're being dumbed down and they're being sold into the slave system of get up, go to work, get up. But then if something doesn't go your way, if life is hard, you're allowed to just get angry about it and whine about it and demand your way. That's all. That's what's happening to them. Something didn't go their way, and they have been told that you're entitled to things in this life. And that's your next generation until we put a stop to it. Vernon Jones seems like a really good dude. Rand Paul, I've been following Rand Paul and Ron Paul for a decade plus now. I am, if Rand Paul goes somewhere, I'm like usually 99% behind him. This goes into so much stuff. And the president spoke about so many things. And I'm glad he left the rioting stuff alone, because he's talking about rebuilding America. We have to rebuild these kids. That's what we have to do. We have to rebuild these children. Now, he also talked about rebuilding America. I'm going to give you some information that I've learned about. Is The money system is changing, as I told you. We are going to most likely a gold, silver, and platinum backed currency system. Now, people have asked me, what about gold? What about silver? Let me make something very, very clear right now to everybody. For anybody who's watching right now, who is interested in gold and silver, I have told you how to invest. Now, I am not a financial advisor. Talk to your financial advisor. I am just telling you what I personally do. I can't give you advice. It's not my industry to give advice in. But I can give you my opinions on what I read and what I personally do. All right? People ask me, how do you buy gold and silver? All the time. Right? You have to, I do not personally, I am not an advocate of buying gold bars or gold bullion. Okay, now, first of all, when I say that, I know there's a couple people on here who are going to go stark raving mad because why would he say don't go bullion? Why would he say don't go bullion? I don't care, whatever. Anyway, I am not saying it's bad. Gold bullion is good as anything else gold. However, if you'd watched any of my interviews with Fred Deshefsky of US Coin Capital, I make no money off of him, by the way. This is just me wanting to give back. If the government decided to pull the gold and say we're recalling gold, guess what? If you have gold bullion, it is registered. And guess what? They can confiscate it. And they'll just give you dollar denomination for it at the market price. No gold. So say they called it. They pulled it in. They gave you your $600. I don't even know what it is at this point. I haven't looked in a couple weeks. They give it to you. Say in a month later, it goes up to $10,000 an ounce. Guess what? You lost out. Now, correct. Keith said bullion sales are registered. Absolutely correct. But guess what gold is not registered? Guess what silver is not registered? Numismatic coins. This is why I promote Fred Deshefsky of US Coin Capital. USCoinCapital.com. It's CAPITOL.com. Why? Because when you own that, you own it. That's it. If they pulled all the gold, guess what? Yours doesn't get pulled. You get to keep it. And people are like, well, maybe it's more expensive. No, just ask for a gold coin that is at value of gold. That's it. And you get a nice gold coin, beautiful gold coin, properly in its little case with a certificate of authenticity that it's legit. 100% legit. Now, did you know that gold bullion, now I'm not saying all gold bullion, but gold bullion in the past has been watered down with tungsten. There was a big whole deal about that. All right? So yes, I buy gold and silver numismatic coins. That's what I get. Okay? I'm letting everyone know. I buy coins, not bullion, not bars. I buy coins. All right? I'm just trying to protect you guys. All right? That's all I'm trying to do. I'm going to say it again. I do not buy bullion. I do not buy bars. I buy gold and silver and sometimes copper numismatic coins. Okay? And if you need help, USCoinCapital.com, Fred Deshefsky, I have him on usually every couple weeks. You can call him. He will literally sit on the phone with you and talk it over with you. And he does not force you into anything. He doesn't sell you into anything. He educates you and he finds your willingness and comfort spot where you are. And he helps build something around what you need and what you're able to do. Okay? That's why I love Fred, because when I found him, he educated. Simply, and trust me, I've been to other coin places. They don't educate. Those cells. Now, I'm not saying all of them don't. I'm just saying that I have not seen the education process with other coin companies I've gone to. That's why I'm with Fred. Okay. Now, on top of that, I have also heard, actually, Robert David Steele did a great interview on this, that not only will gold, silver, platinum potentially, and other metals maybe be part of the backing of the new system, but also it might be asset based. Now, what does that mean? Keep in mind, the president is a builder. Literally, like he builds things, he builds buildings, right? It's possible that commodities such as oil, wood, lumber, construction materials could be part of the asset-backed currencies. I'm going to go into that more later as I learn more about it because I just read about that today. But I find that very fascinating that he's putting the American worker behind the backing of this whole thing. Multiple precious metals and asset materials. Quite fascinating, okay? Quite interesting. Now, that takes me into this. I'm going to show you a thread, okay? A Twitter thread. Here we go. Regarding money. Who wants to know more about money and what our founders were a bit involved in? Here we go. The history of the Rothschilds. 1833. President Andrew Jackson starts removing the government's deposits from the Rothschild-controlled Second Bank of the United States and instead deposits them into banks directed by Democratic bankers. Now, don't get this wrong, okay? Let me say something about this. I don't want you to get this wrong. When I say first of all, when I say the Second Bank of the United States, that was a central bank by the Rothschilds. When I say Democratic bankers, all right, I'm actually talking about not like today's Democrat. I mean, do you realize the Democrat word has been totally switched around? Like there's liberals and then there's classical liberals. Classical liberals are actually for America. Okay, very, very different thing. So I moved down here. This causes the Rothschilds to panic, so they do what they do best, contract the money supply, causing a depression. What was the panic of 1837? The panic of 1837 was a financial panic and crisis that rocked the nation in 1837. It was followed by a depression that lasted until 1843. The panic was the most severe financial crisis and depression that the new nation had ever seen. Most of the banks in the nation closed down and unemployment rates reached an all-time high. President Jackson knows what they're up to and later states, "You are a den of thieves, vipers, and I intend to rout you out, and by the eternal God, I will rout you out." It's a great, great artist rendition of what he was dealing with. And guess what? We're dealing with the same thing today. All right. Those are the Rothschilds. And oh, look at that. It's a serpent. Interesting. And then down here, I wonder why Andrew Jackson is Trump's favorite president. Now, I have heard that Jackson as well as Thomas Jefferson are Trump's favorite presidents. And just so you know, Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson were some of the only founding fathers who actually were for a treasury system and not a central bank system. Like Alexander Hamilton actually sold out the United States. Washington also tried to help selling out the United States, okay? Not all the founding fathers were perfect. Now, they were all hell-bent on creating a great America, but they were not all on the same page from a banking standpoint. So, very interesting in how this all works out. Now, I want to dive into tonight the JFK Jr. situation, because I am starting to have a feeling that the Trumps, along with Melania, are working with the Kennedys behind the scenes to take down the cabal. Now, how would that occur and how would we know that? Now, first of all, I'm gonna show you something very, very fascinating, okay? Who here has watched the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Who has watched Eyes Wide Shut? I'll wait for you to answer before I dive into this because, again, I am going to be watching this movie again probably tonight. Not that it's a great movie to watch at night, late at night, and go to bed to, but it is what it is. I always watch weird stuff at night. So, but who has, it was a long time ago, okay? It was actually released in July 16th, 1999. All right. Be prepared for your mind to be blown just a little bit, all right? Here we go. Let me show you this Twitter feed. What if I told you that Junior's death was faked and he had connections to Kubrick, who was the producer, director of the movie? You wouldn't believe me, right? So, Kubrick released his movie Eyes Wide Shut on the exact same day JFK Jr. was killed in a plane crash. July 16th, 1999. There are no coincidences. Eyes Wide Shut. There was Stanley Kubrick's movie. Going down. Dr. Bill Harford is a doctor who lives in New York City. When reading a newspaper, it says the phrase, "lucky to be alive." Imagine my shock. I wonder who is lucky to be alive. Would you take any keen guesses? So wait a second. So JFK, the movie was released the same day that JFK Jr. was killed in a plane crash. And the New York Post cover says lucky to be alive. With Tom Cruise looking very dapper, by the way. I wonder who Tom Cruise was playing in the movie. Oh, that's right, Dr. Bill Harford. Or was he? JFK Jr. was married to Carolyn Bessette, a beauty who worked in the fashion industry. It was rumored that Carolyn Bessette was a recreational drug user, meaning Carolyn, before she was married to JFK Jr., played with recreational drugs. This is part of the movie script. So Klein pulls no punches, weaving a narrative of marital discord. He says John was horrified by Carolyn's rumored drug use, which Klein said came with her association with the high-flying fashion world. He came home one night, found her sprawled on the floor in front of a sofa, conked out with cocaine. And according to somebody who was there, he lost it and yelled at her, "You're a cokehead." Do you believe she was a cokehead? You know, it's very hard to know how much she was taking. Nowhere in my book do I say she was an addict. So she was someone who took cocaine. Someone who was regularly into the use of what's called loosely recreational drugs. So Klein admits much of the story of Carolyn's alleged cocaine use is anecdotal, and he has no way of knowing how this might have contributed to the couple's marital tensions. But were there other more public signs? Carolyn was terrified by the public fishbowl her life with John had become. Bill Harford, doctor, is married to Alice Harford, a beauty who worked at an art gallery. Alice is a recreational drug user. Do you see any similarities between Carolyn and Alice Harford? Alice in Wonderland, go down the rabbit hole. So there's Alice Harford, there's Carolyn Kennedy. In 1998, People magazine named JFK Jr. the sexiest man alive. 2 years later, Tom Cruise, the actor picked by Stanley Kubrick in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, was also named the sexiest man alive by People magazine. In the movie Eyes Wide Shut, the character Alice Harford specifically mentions Cape Cod. Alice Harford, do you remember last summer at Cape Cod? Yes. The Kennedy family compound consists of 3 houses on 6 acres of waterfront property on Cape Cod. Kennedy's mother had worried he would die in a plane crash, which she tried prevented by talking to Maurice Templesman to do whatever it took to keep John from becoming a pilot. In Eyes Wide Shut, Victor Ziegler is also a wealthy Jewish businessman who lived in New York City. So Victor, because I had you followed. You had me followed? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I owe you an apology. This was for your own good. Believe me, for his own good. Interesting. Time to move into this interesting phase. Well, Victor, maybe I'm missing something here. You call it fake, a charade. Do you mind telling me what kind of charade ends up with somebody turning up dead? What charade ends up somebody turning up dead? So anyway, I think he's working more on that feed. I think that that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, whether they knew it or not, I think they were playing JFK Jr. and Carolyn Kennedy. That's what I think. So, I will be watching Eyes Wide Shut, because if you know anything about Eyes Wide Shut, guess what? Eyes Wide Shut is about the Illuminati. It's about secret societies. Is it possible that Stanley Kubrick was exposing it, using Cruise and Kidman to play Kennedy and Carolyn, to expose or let out information amongst the deep state and cabal? And this would have been right when the plane crashed and they possibly went underground to hatch the plan to destroy the cabal, and it's now 2020. So, and Kubrick was not stupid, by the way. He knew exactly what was happening. Now, let's stay on the Kennedy theme. So anyway, I also think that's tied to this is I keep being pulled back to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Del Bigtree, who left the show, The Doctors, and I love Del. So if he sees this, Del, I'm not busting on you. I'm just trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Is because I've had dinner with Del. Great human being. Seemed completely genuine. Good guy. However, Del is being funded. I don't know by who. To run his show, to travel around the country. He does a great job. Briefings, seminars, etc. Are the Kennedys, the Trumps, and everyone behind the scenes diving into the vaccination issue to explode the entire situation? Because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in, I believe, Berlin, Germany right now. They are there for a very, very large protest. Let me show you that. In Berlin, launching at Children's HD Europe. Tomorrow I will speak to largest crowd in German history. We are expecting 1 million plus people protesting Bill Gates' biosecurity agenda, rise of authoritarian surveillance state, plus pharma-sponsored coup d'etat against liberal democracy. So, they have a picture of Gandhi there. By the way, for the record, Gandhi actually has quotes where he called vaccines literally, I don't want to say the words, but basically a crime against humanity. Gandhi was one of the first people to stand up against vaccines. So they're there. They are there putting on, and I'm going to show you this little clip here.
Fear, to use terror, to exert authoritarian control on a society, to compel obedience from the people of a society. And we're seeing this now for the first time all over the world. And this is something that I believed when I was a child may happen hundreds of years in the future, but it's happening now, and it's up to our generation to rise up and stop it. And I'm so glad that so many of you are out today. I hope we get a really big crowd tomorrow. Thanks.
We're here. Thank you very much. Berlin invites Europe.
So he's in Berlin. I am so fascinated if this is all being tied together, because I'm telling you, heads up, RFK Jr., if you're out there, Del, if you watch this, if this is all coming together like I think it could, well done. Job well done. Thank you for being on our side. Thank you for making this go correctly. And thank you for all the inner workings behind the scenes that would be happening if this is indeed what I think it could be. And I'm just speculating, but fantastic. Now, this is what was rolling through Berlin earlier.
Alle auf dem Weg nach Berlin.
Military, because the military is backing up the crowd.
Aber Fenster weit man eben so
They're expecting to have possibly 1.5 million people protesting in Berlin.
Wir sind im Krieg.
Wollen wir fragen, was hier los ist? Oder hier oben von der Seite.
They are ready to roll in Berlin.
Nicht mit Corona. Da auch keine Corona, keiner Masken auf dem Ding.
So, that's happening in Berlin. Now, tonight, as I finish off, because I told you that I would go through stuff for vaccines. I put the information below because this is one of my big passions in life. I love helping people, but I'm absolutely fanatic over helping children, and I help a lot of vaccine injured children. It's not fun for me because obviously I don't love them being in the position they're in, but it's fun for me to see the radically dramatic results that I and my office can get with vaccine injured kids. And that's why I am so excited about the potential connection that I'm putting together or trying to figure out with the Anons and doing my part from a healthcare standpoint. And that's why I do this show. I am not a Q drop decoder, guys. I've said that from day one. That is not my gift. That is not my specialty. There are others out there like the Praying Medics of the world, the Jason Q's of the world, who are phenomenal at doing that. Lisa Mae Crowley. There's a whole bunch of them. I tie this stuff because I'm in healthcare and I see this stuff. I've been studying this stuff for a decade plus. And now I can tie the other healthcare stuff to what is happening in the political world. And I grew up in my grandparents' house with my grandfather, who is a Korean War veteran who passed away. I remember watching Fox News with him when Fox News was actually legitimately conservative and actually was more fair and balanced. Today, they're garbage like the rest of them. But I can I can be one of the ones that put out the healthcare information that tie it with what's happening in the geopolitical world. I have been screaming into this camera for years that vaccines are a crime against humanity and they're destroying children and families in the American population, as well as other countries. And we have a growing group. But then we have that group of people out there who is like, show me the science, show me the science. There's no science to show you. It destroys the body. That's it. It's that simple. I can show you stuff that's in them. But imagine sitting in a room or standing in a room like I do on a daily basis when you have a mom sitting in front of you with a child next to them, who has tics, who can't sit still, who might be highly functioning or might not be functioning at all. And the mom tells you over and over and over again, constantly, that they were fine until they got the injection. And then it flipped. Because there's toxins, there's glyphosate, there's genetically modified organisms there's aborted fetal tissue, there's aluminum, there's mercury, there's polysorbate 80, there's cancer cell. There is so much junk in these things that goes right into the bloodstream, right to the brain, and it shuts down the entire system. Remember I told you the brain was an antenna to the cosmos, to consciousness, to God, to spirit, to everything? You put a covering of mercury, aluminum, polysorbate 80, fetal tissue, etc., and put that over the brain of a child, and you short circuit the entire nervous system, that's when all hell breaks loose. Today, Del Bigtree from ICANN, Informed Consent Action Network, dropped this in a tweet. The NIH concedes it has no studies assessing the safety of injecting aluminum adjuvants. August 2020. I will read this because it's short. August 2020, the vaccines on the CDC's childhood vaccine schedule given to babies during the first 6 months of life include over 3,500 micrograms of aluminum adjuvant, a known neurotoxic substance which can damage nerves and kill cells. The dangers of aluminum-based adjuvants have been well documented. There's links there to click on. Animals injected with aluminum adjuvant, for example, suffer various neurological deficits. In 2017, ICANN even published a white paper summarizing the science which explains how aluminum adjuvant can cause neurological impairment when administered to babies. Given the foregoing concern, a FOIA request was submitted to the National Institute of Health, NIH, requesting copies of any human or animal studies involving the subcutaneous or intramuscular injection of aluminum adjuvant relied upon by the NIH to establish the safety of injecting in infants and children with aluminum hydroxide, aluminum phosphate, or amorphous aluminum hydroxyphosphate sulfate. The NIH engaged in an extensive search that included having the following institutes within the NIH Search for Responsive Studies: the NIH Office of Intramural Research, the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, and the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human and NICDHD. But despite their extensive research, the NIH finally conceded that no records responsive to your request were located. This admission is incredible. Despite injecting babies with thousands of micrograms of this toxic substance known to cause cellular and neuronal death, the Scientific Medical Brain Trust of this country, the NIH, does not have a single study involving the injection of this substance that would support its safety. This may be because of all the studies involving injection of aluminum adjuvant reflect its dangers. And then you can actually read the admission if you click on this. I'm not going to read all that, but it's the whole thing. There's 2 pages there. You can read that. Okay, it's a letter from them. Now, I have shown this on the show before. Okay, so aluminum, where is it at? Well, here we go. Let me blow this up for you. It's a vaccine adjuvant worksheet. Hep B, rotavirus, DTaP, HB vaccine, pneumococcal, polio vaccine, influenza or flu, MMR, varicella, hepatitis A. Just a couple. Okay, so in these, and down here is your adjuvant. So you have food proteins right here, food proteins. And then you have heavy metals, aluminum, mercury, thimerosal, bromide. You have chemicals, MSG, formalin, formaldehyde, glutaraldehyde, antibiotics, tissue antigens as well. So the heavy metals are in orange. And chemicals, formaldehyde. Oh, there's aluminum right there. Down in DTaP, aluminum. Pneumococcal, aluminum. Hemophilus B, aluminum. Aluminum down here in Hep A. Okay, aluminum is in and this is just a sampling. This isn't even that much. This is like a handful. Okay, this is a great resource. Lots of information here. Okay? This is what they're doing to children. And now the NIH has admitted, in their words, no records responsive to your request were located. That's what that means. They don't have any, because they don't even have a study of vaccinated versus unvaccinated children. My hope and prayer as I conclude tonight is that this system, whether it's POTUS, the Trumps, the Kennedys, RFK Jr., Dell, I hope that there's an entire group responsible right now who are putting all this together and helping shut down this oppressive, suppressive, Marxist, communist regime that is working to destroy children. And then I get comments from people who are like, well, my kids had the vaccine and nothing happened. You have no clue what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe, personally, my opinion, if you've had one vaccine, you're on the spectrum. Why? Because the shit doesn't belong in your bloodstream. That's not how the human body works. That's not how your immune system works. Wake up. Oh, well, there's no science. I don't understand. My kids are fine. Really? Then why do they have all their freaking allergies? Why are they always sick? Why do they not get well? Why do they have problems? Why do they have learning disabilities? Oh, that's right. Because they have shit running through their veins and into their brain that is shutting their system down and doesn't let their brain actually do what it's supposed to do. Because it's an electrical circuit. Would you go up and put aluminum in an electrical circuit? No, you wouldn't, because it'd kill you. You don't put it in people's bodies either. It's not how the nervous system works. It's not how the human body works. As Dr. Tenpenny says, she's tired of saying it over and over. If at this point you still have not woken up and you are still stabbing a needle into your kid's arms, we're at child abuse at this point. It's a crime against humanity. It's population control. The powers that be, the cabal, the deep state, whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't care. If they're reptilians, draconians, I don't care at this point. I don't care if it's the devil reincarnate. Their intention is to lower the population of planet Earth as well as America, all the countries, down to a small number that are easier to control. So, they are destroying your children to get to it. They don't care. Did you notice there's this thing called Pizzagate? There's this thing called adrenochrome. They don't give a shit about your children. If you are still getting the needle stabbed into them, you have been programmed by fake science and media to do what you're told. You are a sheep. You are a slave. They have bought you in to their medical, peer-reviewed science cult. That's what they've done. They pulled you in to destroy you. You go, oh, my kid has to go to a pediatrician. Hey, guess what? There's really good pediatricians out there. There is a pediatrician down the road from me that is one of the best in the world. And guess what? She speaks out against vaccinations. Because you know why? You know what the majority of the pediatricians do? The majority of pediatricians were told to create a schedule. Go by the schedule. Go by the CDC schedule. You know what it's called? It's called a programming mechanism. They take your child's temperature. They make sure they're breathing okay, make sure the heartbeat's going okay. They take some weight, they take some inches to see how long they are, and they go, oh, you're in this percentile of growth. That's like medical 101, right? Like whether you're a naturopath, a chiropractor, a medical doctor, a DO, doesn't matter. Like medicine 101 is take a pulse, get the heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory, height, weight. Those are called vitals. Those are really easy to do. Like a monkey can do those. Honestly. No, that's not what the pediatrician's for. And by the way, I know pediatricians that are very good, that actually work very hard to save children's lives. But the system is a system to program children into coming back for your monthly checkup so we can stab another needle in the arm or the leg or wherever they're doing it now. It's a programming mechanism. They're destroying our children. So when you hear Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, talk about saving children, when you hear the President of the United States saying, we're going to save children, we're going to stop destroying children, whether it's via injection or it's via abortion, we're going to stop destroying God's creation. Wake up. And if you're one of those folks out there who says, I'm trying to tell people, do you know how I got so many people on this feed over the years? Because I kept yelling. And by the way, I've had people that tell me, you shouldn't yell. You shouldn't be as like outrageous as you are. You shouldn't be as mysterious as you are. You shouldn't market like that. You shouldn't sell. It's sometimes the only way to wake people up from the killing of children. It's that simple. I don't know what else to say. I've been on so many of these rants. I'm just going to keep ranting every once in a while because I feel like it's the only thing that sometimes works. I don't know how much more information you need. I don't know how much more work the Dells can do, the RFKs that can do, the 10 pennies can do, all of us can do to keep yelling into a camera every damn week. I don't care if you spread this all over the place and people hate me, because at the end of the day, this is about saving children's lives and about creating our country and our world again. All right? People are asking for detox. I get it. I'll help as much as I can. If you need personal help, it's right there. I detox kids every single day. That's personalized help. If you want to get your kids on better products, it's right there. NoblePatriotKids.com. That's why I do this, is to save as many kids as we possibly can. All right? Cool, guys. I went like hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to not bypass questions, but I'm going to go relax and watch a crazy movie now and find out what I missed 20 years ago when I watched this movie the first time. Okay? Guys, I love you all. If you have health-related questions, honestly, the best way to do it is go to the website there. That is the best way. There's tons of different types of detoxes, but I work with kids personally. You have to drain. You have to give kids a lot of drainage to get these heavy metals out. And by the way, I do not ever tell people that their kids will be reversed. That is not something I discuss. I'm not saying the body can't do things, but I do not promise that kind of result. I say we're going to improve quality of life as best as we possibly can. All right. Guys, I'm going to not bypass questions tonight, but I'm going to go relax and calm down because it was a crazy busy week, which was good. But we'll talk soon. We love you all. We hope the best for everybody. Go serve and help somebody tomorrow. Prepare, get ready. It is going to be a crazily insane next couple of months. I will not see you tomorrow night. I'm taking the day off. As always, I will see you Sunday night, 9:30. Next week, by the way, looks like Jason Q, I think, will be on Monday. I'm not guaranteeing that, but I think Monday. And then Charlie Freak, I believe, is going to be Tuesday afternoon. So look forward to that. Guys, have an amazing night. If you need help, if you have questions, get to me as best as you possibly can. I will do it as much as I can. There's a lot of people coming in and asking. So if you need personal help, go to the website. It's the best possible way, okay? And yes, protocols are coming. I'm waiting for one thing to be done, and it's not on my end. It's on my distributor end, okay? Have a wonderful night. Be well. Dr. Jason Dean signing off.